morning full of light that has brought its bright unto today, when February 4th, 1992, our beloved Commander Chavez said, "I take responsibility for this Bolivarian movement." So far, it has not been possible, but better situations will come, and we put an effort there. The Minister of Culture from Cuba is arriving. Greetings to Cuba from the international encounter of the balance of the world. There, in honoring Jose Marti and his universal ideals, one of the liberators of our America, the apostle of Cuba, who was representing us and delivered a great speech on behalf of the people of Venezuela with courage, dignity, and always saying the truth. Nobody can shut the truth of Venezuela. Never. Greetings to Cuba, the Cuban Revolution, the Army General Raúl Castro Ruz, and the President Díaz-Canel. We have been in making agreements, the presidents of ALBA, and on next Monday we will hold a special summit to establish the fighting agenda, to review all the aspects of the agenda of December, and to establish the aspects of the defense of our people's sovereignty. On Monday, February 3rd, whose birthday is on February 3rd, honoring the birth of Antonio José de Sucre, an extraordinary summit of the government of the Bolivarian Alliance for the Peoples of our America. Then, look, we might say that in 90 years of fight of the working class, the unions, the social movements, the popular forces of the left, our people were able to conquer some rights that were violated all the time because the resources of the country were always distributed in the aspect of the national income, who corresponded to you-know-who, the last names. That was the responsibility of the last names. And they took the best part of those incomes and gave the leftovers to the people. But then there was a light, and we were to the path of Venezuela, the forbidden path, pursued but victorious. That's our history. Always banned, but we opened the doors with our own efforts. Pursued, censored, and banned, we built the path to victory. And on December 6, 1998, that powerful social, political, cultural, historic movement of Bolivar, the new Bolivarianism, achieved the election of Commander Rafael Chávez Fría as President of the Republic, the leader of the Bolivarian Revolution. And we started to write another history. And then the next chapter arrived of this series that we are building, the chapter of the Constitution, and we pursued and banned, together with our leader, we create a constitution for the social rights that were in the fights of the multiple generations for 90 years. And we created the social democratic state of right and justice. That was the first picture. And on this basis, the historic era directed by Chavez went through. This lady who is healthy and is 25 years old when it was only 2 years old. Rosine Yuel, 3 years old at that time, in 22. We were all children. When this constitution was barely 2 years old, Herodes came, captured it, and almost finished it. Pedro Carmona Estanga declared that it was abolished, that the Constitution had died. He dismantled all of the powers and destroyed the social rights of the people that were starting to develop. But the people, with Chavez kidnapped, the civilian population and the armed population said, let's stop this. Nobody is going to kill this constitution. And in a military civic fight, the constitution was rescued and returned alive from kidnapping Commander Chavez, and we continue to move forward in peace. We know how to do it, even in the wrong way. They underestimate the people, and they still do it. I tell them, don't continue to underestimate the people of Venezuela. And then Commander Chavez started, probably listening to the song of Ali, early revolution. We need to carry out a revolution. And in 2003, almost in the face of a coup d'etat, Commander Chavez started to create the missions and Great Socialist Missions for the people, which was the first one created, Hector Rodriguez, educationals and regarding health. First one, Mission Robinson, Mission Rivas, Mission Sucre, then Mission Barrio Adentro, health, and doctors from Cuba arrived for the first time, and then he created a whole system of missions. For that time, it was the first time that the oil richness started to arrive in the way of political missions and areas of health, food. Then in 2012, he created the Great Mission Housing Venezuela, the Great Mission Agro Venezuela, great missions. And we might say that we had a decade that was of gold, a golden decade of our Commander Chavez. Who turned the income from oil in direct investment for the well-being of the people, and he started to create socialism focused on equality and the foundation of the communal councils, the popular power. We started to talk in Venezuela that we had to go beyond the participatory democracy and consolidate the direct democracy with the popular power. That happened simultaneously. It was a great offensive carried out by our commander Chavez, and it's a great legacy of socialism in the social field, in the territories. We might say, Professor Ricardo Menendez, since you have studied about it, from the year 2002 to 2014, Venezuela turned its oil richness into social investment for justice, equality through great missions, communal councils, and the start of the building of the communes. After 2015 came. Now, on March 9th, I remember this because there might be some people who allow the far right wing to manipulate them and say Maduro has destroyed the legacy of Chavez. Some say it from the left, faking they are insane. They don't fake, they are traitors, as you said. And they are not capable of saying my face and attack me from the back. And the right wing has tried it several times. Do you remember Capriles, La Sayona, saying, I love you, Chavista. Chavez was good and Maduro is the one wrong, the evil one. What did the people do? They answered with the usual way. Get away from here. Get away from here, Sayona. Get away from here. Far right wing. In the year 2015 to 2013, they tried to start the first turmoil with Capriles. Then, remember, in 2013, they said their elections of municipal councils on December, and they said, Maduro, the elections are a plebiscite. And they started to organize their conspiracies. And on Sunday, December 8th, we will attack you. And I was saying, what did I do? The elections are in the municipalities. Calm down. We are targeting you, said La Sayona, Julio Borges, Capriles, the usual ones. And we were calmed with still nerves, and on the day of the election, vote plus vote, we had a victory and we won 80% of the town halls and municipal council. And they had to avoid their plebiscite. But they didn't abandon their plan. And on January 2014, they started the first conspiracy that was held during 60 continuous days, destroying health centers, schools, bus stations, because they felt that attacking bus stations and buses was attacking me, because I am a bus driver proudly, and I will be it forever. And that way, 2015 started with long lines. Suddenly, I had announced it previously because someone in the U.S. told me they are going to do this. And the harsh economic war started. 2015, March 9th, the Nobel Prize Peace, Barack Obama, declared Venezuela threat to the security of the United States, and the sanctions started, and the economic war is worsened, and the scarcity started, shortages and economic war, psychological war. All this produced a political tragedy that opened the doors for the devil in Venezuela. On that December 3rd, during the elections that they called of the last line for the National Assembly, we welcomed, and we had the worst of the news that the humble people might get when the CNE announced that in those elections had won the National Assembly the opposition of the far right in Venezuela. Do you remember it? I was out quickly when TeleSUR Lucena announced the results. I showed my face immediately. I was not hidden. I was not summoned, calling the people to burn. I can confess that I got a lot of calls, and I knew from several regions and people that were in doubt about the results, that it was unfair what was happening in Venezuela. People was and I said, we have lost, we accept the results, and I hope that they know what they are doing with that National Assembly, and I call for peace. And I said to the world, the world must know that counter-revolution has triumphed here. Let's get ready. And those who opened the doors for the devil were the ones who voted for the opposition. Because then in 2016, do you remember Ramos Halú? What is it about him? I haven't seen him in a while. 3 months passed. 30 years have to pass. But these people won't be led by the oligarchies and the last names of them. More of